Welcome to UA Mat 125 for the spring 2019 semester, or Business 503A. This class is cross-listed and different students are taking it in different ways. The purpose of this short video is just to introduce you to our website and to the assignments that are due for the first day of class. So when you first log into our Blackboard site, it should look something like this without this student preview on though, that's just me, but it'll take you to the announcements page. To do each week, that's where you'll spend most of your time. Here you will find what you need to do for each week of class. We'll come back to that in a minute. Here, the syllabus and more section, you'll find our course syllabus. You'll find a link to the Wiley Plus Publishers course site, which we'll look at in a minute together. You'll find a link to StatKey, which is a very useful tool that comes with our textbook. Here are PDFs of the first two chapters of our text, although you'll have access to the textbook electronically up here through Wiley Plus, and you can ignore this thing that says Padlet. So the main thing you'll need in here is syllabus, and one of your assignments for the first week of classes is to read the syllabus and come up with any questions. Databank is a collection of useful Excel files that we'll be using throughout the semester with actual data in it. Past quizzes and exams show you quizzes and exams from previous semesters. And as you poke around in here, you'll notice that a lot of them, in fact most of them, maybe reference Math 121. That's because on the Monroe Street campus, the equivalent course, or mostly equivalent course, is our Intro Stats class Math 121, and that's what I teach most frequently. And because the classes change some, most of the materials are from that version of the class, rather than previous sessions of UA Math 125. And then here's our discussion board, and you'll see that there's two forms already created. One is an introduce yourself form, where I ask you for the first week of class to post an introduction to yourself. And when you do that, create a new thread. Don't just read my thread and reply, but create your own thread so everyone gets to be themselves. The other form that you'll see here is ask a question. And this is going to be a great form if you have questions between classes that need answering that don't pertain just to you. So if you have questions about the homework or questions about a particular problem you're working on, this is a great place to ask it, because this way, when you ask the question, other people may have the same thing and they'll be able to see it there before they need to ask me themselves. And when you go into this forum, you'll see this, my first posting, how to ask a question. Please read that before you post any questions here. But in general, when you have questions from the class that don't pertain to your own individual situation, post them in this form, creating your own thread. If you have questions, of course, about your particular situation, like you have to miss a class or something, then of course just email me. I will subscribe to this forum, which means that every time you post something to it, I'll get an email right away. It'll come to me just as quickly as if you emailed me. And I encourage you to subscribe as well, so that when your colleagues have questions about problems from the homework, you'll be notified and they may save you the trouble of stumbling with the same things. Okay, so now let's look at the to do each week, where most of what you'll need is. So these are the things for January 23rd, our first night of class. Up at the top, I tell you what you're going to be doing for January 23rd. So read our course syllabus, and if you have any questions about it, please post them in that Ask a Question form on our discussion board, which we just looked at. Also, post a self-introduction on a discussion board. Create a new thread, I already said that. This is a graded assignment, by the way, post a discussion. Read chapter 1 of our text, and you can get that through the Wiley Plus site, which we'll look at in a few minutes. Then down here, I've got some reading questions. So these are online assignments. And let's just open the first one just to sort of see how that works. So you open it, you begin, and you see, oh, this is a matching, this is a true-false question, multiple choice, 4 short questions. And just to show you what happens, I'm going to answer some of them sort of randomly and save and submit. Yeah, and I didn't complete it, that's okay. And when you submit it, you get something that looks like this. And if you click OK, it tells me that I got 0 points out of that one, 0 out of that one, 0 out of that one, and I got 5 out of that one. So it tells me how I did on each question. And then the important thing is, on these reading questions, if you don't like how you did, you can do it again, and you can do it again. So you can do these as many times as you want until you get 100%. Only your highest grade counts. So everyone should really be getting 100% on the homework in this class. So you have reading questions for each section of the text, just 3 or 4 short questions. Then also for January 23rd, you have this, so back up here. So do the 3 sets of reading questions. Read the short paper below and write your reactions. So here's the paper, reading writing assignment. This link is the document, it's a short paper. And then after you've read it, you click on here and you can either just type your comments into this box or you can upload a Word document or a PDF. The only things that this will let me read if you upload them are either Microsoft Word or PDFs. So if you're using a Macintosh, and Pages is something that Blackboard can't read, so don't do that. Okay, and let's just cancel out of here, come back to here. Then this is a link to our Wiley Plus site, and the last thing I want you to do is at that site, do as many of the Chapter 1 Quick Start problems as you can in 1 hour. Additional work on those questions is recommended but optional. So there's quite a few there. They're kind of like my reading questions. They help test your understanding of the chapter, and we'll look at them in a second. But I'm not requiring you to do all of them. I'd like you to spend up to 1 hour on them. If you finish them in less than an hour, great. And after that, I encourage more, but you don't have to. Everything here is due by January 23rd by 4 o'clock, well before our class starts. It doesn't work great when students wait until the last minute, hope to catch me before class and try to do their homework then. So you can always get help between classes, but you need to do that, and homework will be due on by 4 o'clock. And it's all graded. It all counts as part of your homework grade, except for the Wiley Plus problems. For right now, you should do them, but they're not actually being counted as part of your course grade. Okay, now let's look at this Wiley Plus site. So this is something that I'm using for the first time this semester, so I may well have issues, or there may be some technological glitches here, but we're going to give it a try. So the site looks like this. They have modules, and so let's just show you some of the resources on here. So this corresponds to section 1 of our book, the structure of data, and gives you the learning objectives. So this would be great. That's sort of my objectives too. And it has 15 videos connected to the chapter, short videos. You should explore them, see what's useful, what's not. If you can learn everything you need just by reading the book, great. Over here is access to the book itself. You click on that, and let's see if it's going to open for me. Let's try it this way. You need to log into that site the first time. Here we go. No? Yes. So if I came over here to ebook, I got it. And then I can, Unit A, Chapter 1, and the structure of data. And here I am reading the book. Okay, so for modules, when I clicked on this 1.1, getting to the text that way, I seemed to have issues that time. But when I came over here to e-textbook, it opened right up. And is this going to open now? Yes, after you do that. So once it recognizes you, it just seems to open. Okay. Okay, so that's how you can read the book. And then their questions, let's go back to the Quick Start. Questions. So here's the Chapter 1 Quick Start. Let's look at their questions. Say question 9. Notice that down at the bottom, you can check answers right away. And I'm going to just guess some randomly. So I put in my answers, I check answer, and it says, oops, and then it gives me the option of getting a hint. And this says attempts 1 of 3 used. I should fix that so you have unlimited attempts. But that's the basic idea. So it looks fairly similar to our reading questions. So I think that's everything you need to get started. Everything that looks like a link is. And mostly each week it'll look like this. Instructions at the top, content in here. And occasionally you'll go out here to look for data from the data bank or to get to the discussion board. So hopefully this can help you get started. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions.